Hello. There we go. It's like, wait, where's my face? There I am. All right, dude. Hello. Hey, Eric. Hey, Nishant. How you doing? Welcome to No Spare Time. So this, if you remember, is the character that we worked on last time. She is based off of the image that you saw just now. Let me go ahead and actually let's load that spotlight in just so we can have it to the side here. She's based off of this, though I've gone through and I've made some changes and some adjustments. I might go through and make some adjustments back because there are some elements about like how the face feels in the sketch. I want to kind of bring it back, I want to take it back toward this. So, but this will be our starting point for today. And then I want to try to like build out a little bit more. So build out like her torso and make sure that she is blocked in and ready to go. I'll kind of paint her in loosely so that she looks like she's wearing her dress, something like that. And should be really cool. Should be a fun time. Hey Gazi, how you doing? Still working on on Miss Big Lips. Yeah, she does have big lips, but that's okay. We love her anyway. All right. So, some things that I feel like I want to do. Let's go ahead and say save as so that I can keep this version of it. In fact, let's go ahead and take these and yeah, I guess we'll just do that. Version 4 and kind of save that version up. Got a box underneath my desk that's kind of in the way. That's one of the things that I'll be doing today is kind of like cleaning up around my desk. Hey Andrew, how you doing, dude? All right. So there's where we are. This is more where we want to land. So I think a lot of what I want to do is I want to kind of streamline the profile view. Um, so let's kind of see how we go about this. Because like really, the face is cool and she feels like a cool character. It's just a matter of getting certain shapes to feel right from different angles. She's actually gotten like a ton of likes on Instagram, and so it's been really kind of a rewarding thing. Okay, let me see. It looks cool already. Thank you. I'm just gonna kind of turn off her hair so that she doesn't have that distracting us. I do need to kind of clean up the shape back here because this is kind of just a little too aggressive. Turn off spotlight projection. There we go. Just kind of like take some of that out. All right. A lot of things to kind of play around with here. I do like the idea of the forehead kind of coming forward because I feel like it helps to match her a little bit more in style with her husband, which is the pirate guy that I posted not long ago. Yeah, let's get rid of that shelf here entirely. I think that having a little bit rounder of a profile will be much nicer for her head. A little bit up here too. Okay, lots to kind of work out. I mean, we do have the, that's not it. Yeah, let's actually take this and we'll say delete. We have this and we have this. Okay, so I mean, like, with the way that her head is shaped, or that her hair is shaped, we're not going to see that stuff, but I still want to try to be aware of what's happening with the head in case we want to change hairstyles or whatever. Um, just so that way we have a good base to start from. Okay, so part of what I want to try to experiment with, maybe it's a matter of Control-Shift-D, grab that, we'll make a new head variant here. Oops, let's grab the right brush. I'm going to try pulling this forward and then pulling this out. I'm just trying to experiment with the overall shape first. We'll worry about the eye placement here in a minute. Because like with this change, I'm going to definitely have to grab some of these things. Let's hide that. Okay. Let's turn off perspective so that we're not messing everything up too bad. Okay, let me see. It's always kind of an interesting challenge playing with eyes that are far apart. It's a challenge I super enjoy. Let's kind of check it out with the hair. It's not bad. I might have to play with the shape of the eyelash a little bit and kind of bring things a little bit forward in this area, but that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I like that. And then this little bit, let's kind of play with how this is lining up with the eyelashes here. Something like that. There we go. Just kind of like modifying the shape of that so it's got a better flow. It's like it's always adjusting. It's always... I don't feel like it's not nearly as appealing as the other one. Let me see. What does she need? Well, the shape of the cheek, it's kind of like it's not as round as I'd like. Going up into that silhouette of the brow. But then the brow feels like it's coming out a little bit far. So let's try doing something like this. You know what? Use the move brush. We'll mask it out. I have no idea what my kids are watching downstairs. We'll never know. Go ahead and we'll grab this and kind of pull it up a little bit so that we're not as cramped. It's like this hair shape, it's technically encroaching on the brow space quite a bit. So I've gotta consider a couple of things. Hey Kareem, how you doing, dude? I gotta consider a couple of things. I gotta think about like when this character is going into like an extreme expression where the eyebrows go super far up. Um, I want to consider things like, is this a wig or is this her natural hair? Hola Anderson, está genial. ¿Algún consejo para esculpir en estilo más cartoon? Siempre tener paciencia. um, so got a um, got a question about like consejo. How do you translate consejo? It's advice on um, how to sculpt in a cartoon sort of style. And I said, have patience. You know, and it's true. I mean, you gotta have patience to do this sort of stuff because there's going to be a lot of trial and error. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. Um, you're going to do something and then you'll be like, I want to undo it. I mean, like this is. I mean, this is iteration number 4. I think her eyes are too far apart, so I'll have to go ahead and play with that. But I mean, it's that kind of thing, right? It's that kind of thing of being able to go in here and saying, oh, it's not quite right. Let's go ahead and pull that in. Let's pull that in. Let's pull. Yeah, lots of back and forth, and you can't be just too set on one move, or else or else you get really frustrated. Like you have to be willing to really change things up. Like really with on a change directions on a dime, sort of thing. Um, yeah, because it's all about experimenting. It's all about pushing and designing and trying to figure different things out. And granted, this is me going through and doing a lot of design work. Um, with this, I probably want this to actually go through. I'll have the black of it touch the eye. It's not realistic, but I'm looking more for the graphic shape in this. Um, with this one, I might leave it as it is for now. Just kind of wait and see how I feel about these other elements over here. There are some things that still feel super different to me. Let's go ahead and grab this. But yeah, so like those are some things that I try to think about when I'm doing stylized characters. Let's get that to feel a little bit more full down in here. And I do kind of want to make this feel a little less extended in the middle. I think that feels a little bit better. I'm still deciding whether or not I want to try to... Here, let me go ahead and say save. I do really quite like that, how it is. And so now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out... because I mean, one of the things I did with the nose is like it's got this irregular shape. It's not like this gentle swoop down. It's got kind of like a bridge here, and then it goes down. So like a third of the way down, I want to kind of play with this idea of a bridge of the nose sort of shape. So it'll be kind of split into two curves. There'll be the curve coming out to the bridge and the curve going down to the tip, which is obviously broken down this side as well. lots of subtleties. Backside. This is all it looks like right now. Not really anything super amazing per se. There's like the little hair curl. The hair is all blocked in at the moment. Let me see. This is messy. Let's go ahead and we'll kind of play with that. Oh, I had the wrong brush. That's why. I was like, why isn't it moving? It should be moving. In fact, let me see if I can kind of play with this a little bit. Get something of a brow down, and then like I'm trying to be gentle with it because I'm trying to push it. Let's say pull in that Damien standard, and we'll kind of just really gently push that area in, pull this area out. Let's use some trim dynamic and kind of play with this. This is definitely going to take some experimentation, because one of the things that I'm seeing right now is that this is feeling like way too defined now. I don't like how it feels from the front. I don't even like how it feels from the side. I'm going to take it back. I think I'm going to make the call to just leave it as a more streamlined sort of shape like I had it before. See if we can get rid of that bump again by undoing. Okay. Right there is where we'll call it. We'll just kind of leave it as it is. I might see about kind of finessing and fixing some of these shape things here. See, you want to try to make sure that different landmarks line up the way that I want. The eyes almost feel like they're aiming too far out to the side. I mean, you can see that they're not aiming straight forward, which is on purpose. Now she feels too cross-eyed. Just like a gentle touch toward the inside. That feels pretty decent. Lots of back and forth, like I was saying. Okay. The ears feel a little large. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab let's grab these. Go ahead and place that there. Let's see, we can just kind of hide that. That feels a lot nicer, like scale-wise. She feels less goofy, which is nice. How to change the skin color, you can do all sorts of things. So, I mean, right now I have like a kind of a basic skin color. I mean, we can go through, we can easily come down to poly paint, wherever it's at. There we go. Go adjust colors. And you can do all sorts of things with this. You can change your saturation, you can change your intensity. So you change your saturation intensity, you kind of push and pull this. And there we go. We got something a little bit different. It's maybe a little bit too saturated, and I didn't compare it to anything to be able to get a specific direction going on. But she almost feels like she has kind of like an like an Indian kind of skin tone or something like that, or so just kind of interesting. Um, it's always something to play around with. Most of the time, when I do skin tone, when I do skin color, I try to do it just painting it on. I feel like that's the easiest way to get the color that I want. But then it's like if I wanted to kind of tweak it and push and pull it in any certain direction, I'll go ahead and I'll use that adjust colors to be able um, to then what's it called? Just kind of push it that extra little bit, right? It's kind of a fun, just kind of a fun little extra tool. Okay. Now the main goal, let me save this. This sketch was to get the character out of my head. So this is all just like, pencil and paper. The main goal is to get her to feel like she fits in the same world as this guy. Um, okay. My pirate dude. Okay. And that's kind of the goal. Right now, I feel like they're there. They're getting there for sure. I feel like there are some anatomy things that I can work on with her to make sure that she is feeling a little bit better. But yeah, let's go ahead and do something like this. Take this little section back a bit. I gotta kind of work on this little. You know what? Let's take it back to where it was before the masking. I think I'm trying to look at the way that flows going down over that other side, and there's just a little bit of tweakage I need to make. Color before and after going to the beach. If you stay baking on the beach for a week, I guess. Okay, let me see. See, I want the cheeks to feel nice and round and full of life. But then there's also going to be a point where they come too far forward, so I'm trying to be mindful of that. I'm trying to look at the shape of the shadows. You can see this is a little bit messy, so we can kind of clean this up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it's always just a matter of comparing and looking at it from different angles and checking the shape of those shadows. Okay, just make sure. Oh, you know what the other thing is? I want to turn off my smooth by color because I don't want to ruin any of the texture that's coming with the color that I've painted on. That's a little bit nicer. Lots of like little things. Raw, I'm not sure what your question is. What's this for a com? I'm not sure what a com is. This is for my own personal project. Yeah, these two are meant to be husband and wife. Obviously, I mean he's got the eye patch on right now, but he doesn't always have an eye patch. Let me go ahead and let's grab that eye patch and we'll turn it off. So turn that off. And this is him old, and the other one's yeah, let me see. Let's shift us, bring her up, and then she right here is kind of in like her like still adult, but maybe like mid-20s, whereas he's like early 50s maybe right here. I'm not sure entirely. Uh, I've still got to go through and kind of I've been doing some draw overs and paint overs to figure out his design of what he'd look like young. Um, I've thought about possibly changing his hair color a little bit, so like maybe when he's younger, it's a little bit lighter in color, but then as he gets older, it gets a little bit darker. Um, so yeah, hair color is still something that I'm working on with him, and I don't know. There are a lot of things that I'm still trying to play around with, but it's it's a blast. I'm super enjoying these characters, guys. All right. Whew. All right, let's see about trying to extend her character out some. I'm going to want to try to extend his character out too at some point, but I'm not going to worry about that today. Today, there is a streamer going after me, so I want to make sure that I am aware of what the schedule is. Oh, did the stream just get canceled? What's going on? Hold on. Let's see calendar. In fact, let me do this because this will be a little bit easier. This will pop it up so that I can actually see. Anybody who's interested in being able to find my links and things like that, there's kind of yeah. I'm not gonna worry about talking about low poly and things like that right now. That is well off in the distance for me on this character. Okay, so Saturday today at 10:30. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I can go up to maybe about 10 o'clock, but I'm not going to go any further than that. It's kind of good having somebody after me because then it's like um, I don't know. It gives me it makes it so that I don't like overdo myself. But yeah, so Anissa's going on at 10:30. Which should be cool. I haven't turned into their streams at all yet, so I gotta go ahead and try to check them out at some point. But yeah, so let's see about extending this character out. I want to also consider. Let's get like a cream. color for this dress, and I'm just going to take this right here, invert the mask, and let's say color fill object. Okay. So now with this right here, let me see if we can figure out exactly how we want to go about this. So this character, just for anybody who's curious, the way that I started this character, hey Leonard, I never overdo myself. Oh, thank you kindly. Overstay my welcome. I don't know. The way that I started this character out was with one of the mannequin heads inside of ZBrush. The plane change heads. It's one of these, which is fun. You know, it's a great way to be able to kind of start things out. The thing that I did, I mean, I did that with this guy too, but it allowed me to have a nice uniform scale, something that I didn't have to worry about things being too large for ZBrush to handle. It was just a nice scale. And then the thing that I went ahead and did is I took, let me see, I want to kind of like get rid of that little peak right there. All right. Let's go. All right. Cool. Okay, so let's see about extending her out some now. See, a lot of what I'm trying to think about now is that for my story, she's supposed to be a rare beauty. You know, she's supposed to be this this captivating woman that grabs our main character's attention and definitely doesn't let it go. Just make sure that we're grabbing this and making everything the way that we need it. I'm going to start off by kind of blocking in my character's torso. Oh, jerk. Okay, there we go. Kind of expand this out just a little bit. Now this is going to be a pretty common technique. I'm sure that most of you have seen someone do this before. If you watch Shane Olson, this is a technique that he uses a ton, which is where I learned it from many years ago. I'm just going to kind of pull this out. One of the things, and maybe it's just a matter of getting everything kind of represented first. Yeah, because that feels a little bit too long, too low. That feels a little bit better for what I want. So I'm going to do that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab this, let's say, just to make sure we're getting everything the way that we want it. I do want this to be, like, I want her to have a really exaggerated figure. With our main character here, he's probably going to have a pretty broad chest, pretty broad shoulders and everything. At some point, the shape is going to be very stylized, so it's not going to be insanely anatomical, but it's still going to be aimed at having fun, right? Let's go ahead and kind of pull this in, pull this up. Let's kind of take this and we'll kind of pull this down. I definitely want to have much more broad of hips. More broad than what I've currently got, right? Right now, you can see like this angle, like you know, like it feels a little bit too much. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to let's try to do something like this. We'll pull this part of the body forward a bit so that it's more underneath. And then with this bit right here, I'm actually going to use something called pose proxy. Here, let's actually just, I'm not going to mess that out. Pose proxy is, or proxy pose, I guess. Got the word switched around. Meaning's the same. Proxy pose. This is a fantastic way to be able to get a lower res mesh and be able to pose your mesh much more easily. So I'm just going to like take this down. I can reduce it a pretty decent amount here. But what this does is it makes it a lot easier for me to go ahead and, oh, I didn't want that. Let's make sure that that's all masked out. Grab this and we'll kind of pull this forward. Cool. Okay, she feels much more regal now, which is cool. Just kind of pull that hair forward a little bit so it's resting on her shoulders. And I actually want to take the body and let's split that out. It just makes it easier to work on things. Split hidden. I still have my teeth in. Oh, okay, so the blocking in for the body. I need a couple things. I need this to be different polygroups. I need the yellow to kind of go behind the blue. And I need for the blue to kind of extend down in front of the yellow. Just for the sake of getting some more interesting sort of overlap in shape and things like that. Yeah, let's go ahead and Control D just to get that a little bit more geo to play with. Gosh, I might play with some VR sculpting today. I'm kind of in the mood for it. I'm not usually in the mood for trying to trying to fiddle with that stuff. Just because I find it super difficult. But kind of in the mood for it today. Okay, so we got this going on. Haven't used any 3D software for over a week. You give me the urge. Yes, get on it, Will. This is a good mood. It is a good mood. Okay, let's go ahead and grab some pieces here. Just going to start pushing and pulling this so that we get kind of a nice shape here. This is going to need to be, like, I really want these, I I don't know. At the moment, I'm having a hard time deciding for sure what it is that I that I'm trying to get with this. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take this torso in, or the rib cage anyway, not the torso per se as much, but the rib cage for sure. The legs need to be like a lot longer. This is going to take like a lot of experimentation, and that's okay. You know, it's just a matter of really, really playing and trying to figure out what it is that I like. I thought I thought about taking. Are you guys familiar at all with my my entry for the last ArtStation challenge? Um, for the last ArtStation challenge, let me pull it up because it was kind of fun. In fact, I need to get it into. Well, that's pretty cool. Oh, I'm signed out. I'm always signed out whenever I try to get into this. It's like we got to make sure that you're real every time you get on here. That's pretty cool. I'll have to check that out at some point. Maybe we'll check it out here in a minute. Um, ArtStation challenge. Learn challenges. Give me you. I use Dynamesh sub D. It's better ordered, better controlled. Yeah, for me, I go back and forth quite a bit. Quite a bit. Man, those turned out so cool. So here's my submission, and I know that I have better renders elsewhere, but essentially the idea of this character is that she's got like, well, she's got these really chunky forms and chunky silhouette and everything, really thin waist, really chunky hips, broad arms, and I um yeah, it's just kind of like it's really fun. I really like the hair on that. Ah, I gotta save this one. Character design. Very cool. Anyway, take a look at it more in depth later. But yeah, so that's what I did, and there's I have other pictures too. Let me get the other pictures because the other pictures are so much cooler. Um, Characters for fun, ArtStation, Neo Tokyo, render. We see. Ah, wrong window, guys. Wrong window. So yeah, there we go. So this is how my character turned out for that. And if you saw me at Lightbox, uh, you most likely you most likely saw me working on that Kitsune um, holo- hologram sculpt, both at the Maxon booth and also at like on my own personal demo out in the exhibit hall. Uh, it was a lot of fun. It's such a fun project. Um, Lots of cool, interesting things to kind of play around with and develop. So yeah, most of everything that I really super enjoyed are like the shapes of the anatomy going into this. It was a good time. It was a good time. So right now I'm trying to decide how much, if any, of that I want to try to incorporate. Okay, let's kind of take these up. Different polygroup, yes. Okay, so with these, with the arms, I want them to be very kind of sleek and have like a nice simple shape. I also want it to have like a nice taper. And I also want, let me do this, let me turn on local symmetry. We'll kind of extend them out just a little bit. Let's see if we can get some. That might be like way too large. You know what? Let's go ahead and let's do this. I'm going to kind of block in this lower area with another piece, just so I can kind of control that shape and that form and that volume a little bit better. Let's grab that, kind of pull it back. Just going to add like a couple of subdivisions here to this so that it's a little bit smoother. I can kind of get a little bit nicer of a shape to it. All right. Missed it. What did we miss? I'm not sure I'm following along very well. Okay, with this bit, I definitely want to make sure that I'm getting a little bit more thinned out toward, oh, come here, which direction do I need to go? Thinned out toward the wrists. And you know what? I kind of want to make sure that I'm getting thinned out over here as well. So let's get this lined up nicely. I kind of want to like grab a pre-made hand. Let's do something kind of like this, kind of like this, kind of like this. fact, let's grab the whole arm. Just gonna kind of angle that out a little bit more. Play the game for what? Let's see, I'm going to kind of go through and play around with this a little bit. Pre-made, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I just don't want to use it as a crutch. I think the breast feel too large. Just kind of shrink them just a little bit. Maybe we'll lower them too. I mean, the shape isn't right, but it's fine. And do something kind of like that. There's a lot to play around with. There's a lot to kind of try to figure out with this. I think I'm not entirely liking how small the torso is right now, but we're going to, I don't know, I'm going to keep entertaining it for now. Just kind of see where we get to with it. Can you teach me how to make settings of the material look like pencil sketch? No, I cannot. That's a good question. Somebody who is really good at being able to do things like that, though, is my buddy Pablo. Pablo does a tremendous job with all of that. And he's got a lot of that on his live streams. He's got a lot of that on his personal website. All sorts of things. But yeah, I'm definitely not the person to ask about stylized rendering, stylized sculpting, stylized characters. That's my wheelhouse. But getting into the rendering and the final look sort of stuff, that's a little bit different. Did you see the change in policy at Twitch? They opened up artistic nudity, and and a day later they walked it back. That's really funny. That's really funny. They were talking about that at work. They were talking about how that had happened. I didn't hear about the walking it back part though. That's kind of funny. But that's fine. Whatever. Let's grab this. Take these, turn it around, pull it down, something like this, so that we get a little bit of a shoulder for our miss. Okay, so you want to think about shoulder, shoulder, shoulder. Kind of like smooth out a little bit so that it helps it to shrink and not be too much, hopefully. Next time. Okay, that's starting to feel much nicer. Okay. I think I'm starting to be able to starting to get really annoyed at starting thoughts and then not finishing them. Let's do something kind of like that, because that's kind of cool. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, let's kind of flip this around. We're going to kind of shrink it down. Use this as a calf. Give me some recommendations for exercise to improve stylizing characters. A lot of it's just practice. Like legit. Like, I mean, that's why I'm always doing it. um, that's why I'm always kind of playing around with things and designing things and trying new things. And it's not easy, as you can tell. But I think a lot of what it comes down to is learning how to observe. Um, that's definitely like one of my favorite pieces of advice is just learn how to observe. And so what I do a lot is I mean I look at a lot of like pictures. I focus on people. Um, I do. I mean, I also teach classes, and so like a lot of times I'll be focusing on um, demos and things like that to help my students. I think I need those calves to possibly be a little bit smaller, but we'll see. Um, I think one of my favorite things that what is it that gets me that menu? Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I'm not like turning something on that I don't want. Um, One of my favorite things. Okay. So this is something that's really good. Oh no, I hate Z spheres. I never touch them if I can help it. Um, Draw this in your style. This is a really fun challenge or series of challenges. It's like you already have the artist's permission to utilize their work as reference. And then you just go through and you design based on what you see. It's super helpful. I've done this one. I haven't done that one actually, but there are tons of them, and you can look it up on Instagram too, and you see like just a bajillion of them. Oh, there's one from Lowish. That's pretty cool. Um, Let me see. Do I have any on my art station? I can't remember for sure. View profile. I don't have any on mine. I mean, I did make this available as a draw this in your style, um, for anybody who wanted to participate a couple of years back, 3 years back now. Um, but yeah, it's just fun. It's just a fun little thing. So I went through and I did my original sketch, based off of a shape, and then I colored her in and made her so that she has a nice, pretty sketch. And then I went ahead and did her in ZBrush, and I've got the full stream on here too, if anybody wants to be able to check that out. But yeah, those sorts of challenges are very much my favorite because it allows me to really study and assess like what it is about a style that makes sense, what it is about the style that um, What was I gonna say? Shoo. Yeah. What it is that the artist is doing in their image, uh, artistically. What is it that makes it appealing? What is it that inspires me? How can I change it to make something completely different? Like, that's really fun. I like that. Here's one from. Oh, I'm blanking on her name now. Pernell. Uh, yeah, you just find like an image that you find appealing from the draw this in your style sort of category, and you go through and just kind of build it out. Have fun. It's a good time. It's a really good time. So yeah, that's kind of one of my favorite exercises. Um, yeah, that's what I would recommend. Um, yeah, no. So back to the idea, the Z spheres. The reason I don't use Z spheres is that I feel like they're very hard to control, and I'd rather not struggle with the having to get something to work right. Um, at least not in that way. I mean, like I appreciate the struggle of going through and trying to work with the design and trying to figure those sorts of things out. But um, I feel like there are other ways. If I can control my struggles, that would be ideal. Let me see. Let's try something here. Let me go ahead and say Control Shift D just to be able to duplicate that out. Okay. I'm going to turn off my symmetry and center my tool. Make this into a sphere. I want this to be a dress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the gear. Let's say flatten. We're just going to flatten the bottom of it out. We're going to say accept. Okay, so we got this going on. I'm going to take my what's it called? My transpose line. There we go, something kind of like that. And we'll just kind of move it back so that it feels like it's fitting more with the body. Make sure we've got the right color here. Oops. Let's just double check and make sure this is modified topology, mirror and weld. Cool. So now there are other things that I'll do with this shape-wise. Let's go ahead and kind of extend out the back so that it feels like she's got a little bit more of a shape to her. And I actually kind of want a little bit more of like a mermaid dress shape, so like it's more uh, fit to her body. Yeah, let me see. Control D a couple times here. I think that one of the things that I might do Oops. That was terrible. Okay. There we go. That's a little bit better. One of the things that I might do is I might add like an extra little piece over her rear end, but I'm still not entirely sure. She looks a little bit too much like Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, right now. Which isn't bad. I mean, she's, that was like, she's a stunning person, but it's not who we're trying to go for with this particular character. Like, that's not the right era. It's not the right. It's not that I can think of anyway. Can't remember if she's Victorian or not. I definitely kind of want to go a little bit older, like 1700s. Go ahead and mask part of that out. Why didn't that mask anything out? Ah, my Z intensity is all the way down. That's okay. I was like, somehow I'm not affecting my mesh at all. How frustrating. I don't like that for me. I'm just gonna kind of like tailor this down, shape it down. I want it to feel elegant. It's kind of almost leaning more Belle Epoque, but it's fine. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Dr. Quinn is Old West. You probably are one of the few that gets that. It's when it's. I need to hold my stylus differently. Yeah. Um. Yeah, Dr. Quinn was an interesting show, and like I remember, I'm not. I guess not thinking Dr. Quinn. It's Dr. Quinn, but like her character in Somewhere in Time. That's more what I was thinking there. That's more what I was thinking. Okay, I kind of want to get a block-in piece for, let's say, delete lower, to be able to kind of block in for the upper piece here, get a little bit more of like a corset sort of shape. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to say, let's just grab this. Oops. Yeah, me too. Okay, I want this to be very, very simple shape. Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Yeah, it's funny. It's like I can't remember the show very well anymore. It's been a long time. are no allies. Thank you so much. Thank you, manga. That's so kind of you. Yeah, just having fun, just kind of polishing out, thinking out like this personal idea that I have. She's on her way. Jane Seymour was in Battlestar I haven't seen Battlestar Galactica, so I can't really think of like, oh yeah, it'd be her, this person. Um, but that's really interesting. Do I have tips for people learning ZBrush? Yeah, dig in. That's really like the best tip. I think that it's probably the most frustrating tip too, because anybody who gets that tip as like when they're asking for tips, they're gonna be like, well, okay, thanks, but no thanks. But yeah, there are certain resources that I think are really helpful if you wanted to look up specific artists that are like tremendous to learn from. There's Michael Pavlovich. He's always going to be like the number one on pretty much everybody's list. Um, just because he's so thorough. Pablo Munoz is another one. He runs a site and a course called the Extra Mile. He's really good, and he's very thorough as well. Very experimental and very yeah. He's just fantastic. I love Pablo. Um, there's the Queen. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Maybe they're referring to Jane Seymour too. I don't know. It's just the Jane Seymour sort of morning. Get a little bit less on that neck. That feels so much nicer. Okay. Um, sorry. My son is distracting me. But yeah, yeah. So I think let me see. Um, I think one of my favorite things to suggest to people too, anybody who's wanting to get into ZBrush, find something to do as a project. Something that you can take and do from start to finish. It doesn't have to be anything super big. It doesn't have to be a full character. But like we were talking about earlier, we had things like the DTIYS, the Draw This in Your Style challenge. Okay, you pick a design. It could be something simple, but you go through and you design it in 3D. You figure it out. You make things work. That's kind of fun. Oh, it's Max Grech. That's why. Max does some amazing stuff. I really love Max's stuff. Oh, here's the Draw This in Your Style origination from this character. Really fun. But yeah. Oh, this is a fun one too. This isn't the original, but Nicolas Saviori is uh, amazing. He's amazing. You just see like the way that he handles forms, the way that he combines colors. So good. Lots of really neat stuff. And some of them, some challenges are really beautifully designed and have like a really nice control over aesthetic. Others might be um, less masterfully done, but might still give you like some good inspiration. So Henry VIII's wife, not quite that far back. Although I kind of want to see. Yeah, it's like the style's kind of interesting. Definitely not the. It's like a little bit too old. This is 1500s, so it's a little bit still cool. And there's still some elements that might be worth kind of. Oh, that's from DeviantArt. That's not helpful to me. Ah, man, why are all these things coming up from DeviantArt? There we go. They're such happy people. Look at them. Is there a reason to sculpt the legs if they're hidden behind the dress? So the reason that she will end up being a full character even behind the dress, just so that in case I wanted to change costumes, whatever it is, I'll have the full character behind there. But the other thing is that I'll go through any pose that I make. The dress is going to be interacting with the legs, and so the big thing that I want to make sure of is that the pose of the dress feels consistent with what the pose of the character would be. Um, so if she's like sitting on the docks reading a book, or um, if she's walking down the street, what legs going in front of the other, and what's going to be moving that dress in a certain way. So that's the big reason for making sure that I have things a very very specific sort of way. um, I definitely don't feel like design wise the dress shape itself is pushed enough. I do really like kind of like the thins to thicks going through here, but we'll have to see kind of what we do with it later on. I think she's good enough for now. We're at a place where we gotta call it a day. I do want to go through and design this a little bit more. I'm not sure when the next time is that I will be streaming. Let's go ahead and pop into this and see. Let's grab the calendar. I'm pretty sure I'm not streaming anymore the rest of the year. Okay. December 27th. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the calendar. Yeah, there isn't anything in the rest of the year anyway. Nothing plugged in for January yet either. So yeah, this will be the last stream of this year. Um, Gosh, we had some great people. Anybody who wants to be able to find me, again, there's my link, or my link in bio, which is also linked down below the video. Um, yeah, feel free to drop in and say hi to Anna after this. She'll be starting in like half an hour. So welcome, manga. Welcome. It's kind of a fun place. I'm not nearly as active there as I probably ought to be, but we have some really good people there, including Leonard, who's very active here in the chat. So really good time, really good people, lots of really cool works in progress that are shared. Um, I need to start sharing a few more of my works in progress, but yeah, I mean this is starting. We're at a start. We're moving along. So thanks for coming and hanging out, guys. I appreciate you. And yeah, I guess I'll see you next time I see you. I'm not sure if I'll stream on my personal channel at all between now and the next time I stream here. But if you're interested in checking that out, you should be able to find that at the link that I posted in chat just a minute ago. In fact, here, let me pull that up. can drop in here, over here at the link in bio. You can come over and you can just click on Twitch, and there's my page. I have no idea what this means. I'm very not good at like the lingo of the streaming stuff, but it's whatever. It's whatever. Um, Here's some other suggested streamers that I super enjoy. And right now you can see Pixelogic is live. Imagine that. So yeah, just fun stuff. Okay. So yeah, link in bio. I've also got YouTube, I've got Instagram, so should be a fun time. Come have fun. So yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out. I'll see you next time I see you. Smartest out.